I bet some of y'all thought for certain we were going to Hosea 12 and 10, but pooped on you. John 17 and 1. These words spake Yahshua, and lift up his eyes to heaven, and said, Father, the hour is come, glorify thy Son, that thy Son also may glorify thee. As thou hast given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life to as many as thou hast given him. And this is life eternal, that they may know thee, the only true God, Yahshua HaMashiach, whom thou hast sent. I have glorified thee on the earth, and I have finished the work which thou gave me to do. Now we sit back and look at it. The Lord came to work a work, and that work was to give all those who were of Yah eternal life. Let's go over here to Ezekiel chapter 18, verse 1. So I thank the Lord. It's been in my mind to go ahead and roll this here, because it's a lot of stuff I've been having in my mind that I've been wanting to go through, that's been held back because he done brought other things to the surface. And this is one of these things, because I think Lord can correct me otherwise. This been on deck for about 2-3 months. I want to say almost 3 months, maybe closer to 2. This is how long we've been holding this. So let's see what Ezekiel 18 and 1 say. And the word of Yah came unto me again, saying, What mean ye that you use this proverb concerning the land of Israel, saying, The fathers have eaten sour grapes, and the children's teeth are set on edge? As I live, saith Yah, you shall not have occasion any more to use this proverb in Israel. Behold, all souls are mine. The soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine. The soul that sins, it shall die. Let's go over here and look at Romans chapter 6 and verse 20. Y'all need to really sit back and realize that if you commit sin, you are going to perish. That's her food. Don't take her food. Don't take her food. That wouldn't be nice, now would it? Make it 19. I'm going to tell y'all something. And I know some of y'all be like this here. Some of y'all sit back and y'all still relish in things you used to do. Still take joy in it. That when stuff come up that you used to do, you don't sit back and be ashamed of the behavior. You actually feel like, hey, that's what I used to do, and I'm pretty much proud of it. Let's see what Paul had to say about it. I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmity of your flesh, as you have yielded your members service to uncleanliness and to iniquity unto iniquity. Even so now yield your members service to righteousness unto Kodesh. For when you were servants of sin, you were free from righteousness. Now, if you sit back and you look at it, that when you were doing these things, you were free from being righteous before God, how could you still rejoice and think about and have pleasure of those things? How could that be possible? How could that be possible? You know what I'm saying? I was talking to the brother the other day, telling him about, I think he was on the phone, but we were just going back over it when a dude called me about that, about playing in women's booty holes. And then this man come back around the other day say he loves skinny jeans. Now, any man who will hit a woman in the booty and love skinny jeans, something wrong with him. What do you say? Even more so for playing in people's booties. But loving skinny jeans? How can any grown man with a straight face love skinny jeans? How could any of you women even want a man who will enjoy it? But it's the fight of you coming in the sun. Well, he's a Christian though. You coming in the sun. And it ain't just got to be with that matter over him, because he felt he was proud of himself for what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all still don't have no shame. See, Paul finna tell y'all something in the 21st verse. You still not ashamed of stuff that you used to do. And you think that the Lord don't know that, but he know it. Because if you not ashamed of the stuff you used to do, the likelihood that you going to do it again is very high now. Because see, when you ashamed of something, you wouldn't do it again. You know what I'm saying? See, the last thing anybody ever will want to do is bring shame on their family. You know what I'm saying? When we go back 40, 50, 60 years, even, you look at them Arabs, they kill their daughters for shaming the family. You know what I'm saying? See, we ain't got in the mind the point that we don't want to shame God with our behavior. You know what I'm talking about? And if you still have pleasure in unrighteousness, even though you say you're not doing it no more, chances are you'll go do it if opportunity presents itself. You know what I'm saying? I was sitting there watching the game Sunday, and what it was, man, like as hell, man, and Mom Duke didn't get it off that halftime show because I had no desire to see that. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much I was doing some other stuff, so I wasn't paying attention to it. You got Katy Perry, which is real wild. A woman riding a beast. You know what I'm talking about? And we ain't getting in all that, caught up in all that Illuminati stuff like that. But that's a very strong piece of symbolism right there, though. A woman riding a beast. You know what I'm talking about? We know what Revelation 17 say about a woman riding a beast. Remember, we dealt with that before. A woman's heart's like snares and nets. Because Babylon, like snares and nets, she gonna take you down. That's how it happens to you. You know what I'm talking about? So then we sit back and look at this here. And then this is all these people have to do. See, I'm going to tell you, especially for black people, all they got to do is send out an artist you familiar with. Because all I seen up and down the timeline is how they brought Missy out there. A woman who was a known bulldagger. Woman who had songs talking about she want a hot boy. Singing songs about being penis-sized. Singing songs about getting your freak on. And it's niggas who I seen say they was in the word who were rejoicing over that. Men at that. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta sit back and look at that. If you come out of the world, if you coming from out of the world into the word, that shouldn't even have no, I wouldn't care who they brought out there. I wouldn't care who they brought out there. See, I'm gonna show y'all something else. Come on around here to 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Before we read this Romans 6 again. I know we went around it not too long ago, but we're gonna look at it again. And this is going to make sense in a moment, Lord will. Because we got to roll. I ain't finna keep y'all up all night. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. I want you to look at verse 5. And talk, man, Paul talking about love here. You have to sit back and look at it. If you love God, then there should be a certain type of thing come up in your behavior and in your functions, how you move, how you operate, all that good stuff. It says love. Well, look at verse 4. Love, charity suffer long and is kind. Charity envy not. Charity vaunt not itself, is not puffed up, does not behave itself unseemly, seek not her own, is not easily provoked, and think no evil. Rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. Now I know it's a lot of Israelites, man, like I done told y'all before, they like to watch Walking Dead. You know, T called me the other day and just was telling me just certain stuff she don't want to look at nothing no more. Just don't have a desire for it. And I done told y'all the time will come where you shouldn't have a desire to even listen to the same music you used to listen to. You shouldn't have a desire to watch television shows or movies. It shouldn't be there. And if that desire is still there, you ain't died yet. I want you to look what else he say. It bears all things, it believes all things, it hope all things, it endure all things. Charity never fail, but whether there be prophecies, they shall fail. And whether they be tongues, they shall cease. And whether there be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part, but when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. A lot of people like to quote this, don't they? See, I want you to come over here and I want you to look at 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 6 first. We good with 1 Corinthians 13, and we still holding Romans chapter 6. And then after we look at this 1 Samuel chapter 10, verse 6, we're going to look at John chapter 3. And then we'll go look at 1 Peter chapter 2. See, when it's sitting here talking about when you was a child, you thought as a child. See, some of y'all still babies, don't even know it. And you quick to tell somebody you grown. 1 Samuel 10 and 6. The Spirit of Yah will come upon thee, and thou shalt prophesy with them, and thou shalt be turned into another man. And let it be when these signs are come unto thee, that thou do as occasion serve thee, for God is with thee. Yeah. Go live, go sit down, live. And he says, and thou shalt go down before me to Gilgal. Behold, I will come down unto thee to offer burnt offerings and to sacrifices of peace offerings. 7 days shalt thou tarry till I come to thee and show thee what thou shalt do. And it was so that when he had turned it back to go from Samuel, God gave him another heart, and all those signs came to pass that day. See, he said when the Spirit of Yah came on him, he became another man. So I want you to come back and look at John chapter 3. So there has to come a point in time where you become a different person. See, sometimes and to get things that you need to get correct are good. But at the same time, you can't sit back and look at it thinking that you've actually changed when you might have just dropped one behavior, or you really just took a shovel out and dug a hole and threw that behavior in there and thought you had overcame it, but it was still there though. That's what a lot of you have done. You just sat back and said, you know what, I overcame that. No, you didn't. You just buried it somewhere. Or you just changed it up, or you just modified it a bit. This is verse 1 of John 3:1. There was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews. The same came to Yahshua by night and said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from God, for no man can do these miracles that thou do, except God be with him. Yahshua answered and said unto him, Truly, truly, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. So now you sit back and look at something. This man say, unless you be regenerated, you will not get in. You're not going to get in. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 1. So that means when you come into this word, there has to come a period of time where a maturation process. That's why you say children end up maturing. That's what we were talking about earlier when we were talking about the little kids. Just mainly like the little boy just get mad. A lot of times, and we'll look at Hebrews chapter 12 while it's in my mind. Most people don't want to sit back, and little kids I'm going to sit back and be honest with you. How many of y'all had somebody who tore your behind up that you didn't particularly like them when you saw them? How many of y'all had a relative that always, when you was out of pocket, they tore your behind up? And how you felt about them that every time they caught you out of pocket, they wore your behind out? But let me ask y'all this here though. But did you respect them though? Did you love them? And when you got older, did you really appreciate what they did? It kind of helped fashion and mold you to who you were. See, little Muffin didn't get in trouble too tough. You didn't get in trouble too tough, did you, little Muffin? No, I'm for real though. Little Muffin didn't get, man, by the time she was little, man, and I done told some of y'all to say, man, little Muffin didn't get in trouble a lot. A lot of times little Muffin just got in trouble. She was little for just not listening. Like it's time to go take a bath and you bucking taking a bath. But little Muffin was a child that, she's no different. Leah's the same. Jordan's the same way. Even and Kingston is the same way. They seek to please. They really don't want you to be upset with them. Do you know what I'm talking about? See, a child like that, you don't really have to chastise much because they don't want you to be upset with them. But then you got some little kids that feel like, I'm going to do what I want to do. You know what I'm talking about? And I don't really care nothing about what you're talking about. And they don't necessarily have to be just... Yeah, they don't have to just necessarily just be outright defiant. But I was telling Brittany earlier, like looking at Joshua, he the type of child that feel like the world revolves around him, and that nobody can chastise him. And if somebody do, he looking for somebody to save him, to say don't do him like that, because he feel. I mean, that's the mentality that he has. I mean, it ain't necessary. That's just. I mean. And sometimes y'all be thinking, well, what could I have did? Sometimes little kids just got that in them. You know what I'm talking about? Like Leah came out and she wanted to please early. You know what I'm saying? Nobody really sat back and say, Leah, do this or do that. Leah wanted to help. You look at, I look at Jordan. I was telling this earlier. Jordan follows directions well, very well. All you have to do is tell her, and she does it. No hesitation. Kingston follows directions well. But at the same time, kids know, they done sat back and they realize, I can try this person. And if I put these tears on, or if I do this person will give me sympathy. You know what I'm talking about? See, we used to try that with y'all as a people. See, when you sit back and you look at, hold on, y'all. Come on around here to number chapter 11. We're going to read 1 Peter chapter 2. See, I'm using these children as a scenario so you can sit back and see how we operate. Number chapter 11. About verse 31. That might not be what I wanted. It might be It might be 20. It might be 20. Let me see if that's what I want. All right, Lizzie. It's gone. Let's see what that is where he told him the niggas went to crying when he told him he was going to kill him. It might be numbers 11 what I want. Let me look and see. Calm down, Lizzie. Now, numbers 11 and 31. And there went forth a wind from Yah and brought quails from the sea and let them fall by the camp, as it were a day's journey on this side, and as it were a day's journey on the other side round about the camp, and as it were 2 cubits high upon the face of the earth. And the people stood up all that day, and all that night, and all the next day, and they gathered the quails. They gathered the least, gathered 10 homers. He that gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them all abroad for themselves round about the camp. And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere they were chewed, the wrath of Yah was kindled against the people. Yah smote the people with a very great plague. And he called the name of that place Kiribath Hattaavah, because they buried there the people that lusted. And the people journeyed from Kiribath Hattaavah unto Hazeroth, and abode in Hazeroth. I need to sit back and find the verse what I wanted. Because when he sat back and told these people he was going to slay them, these niggas went to weeping. Okay, there it is. There, praise the Lord. There it go. Verse 8, I appreciate it. Matter of fact, look at verse 5. I want y'all to hear verse 4. It also going to take you back to something else. I'm going to see who catch it. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting, and the children of Israel also wept again and said, who shall give us flesh to eat? Who going to give you flesh to eat is what they asked. Let's look at John chapter 6 and let's see who gave you flesh to eat. Because these people turned around and said the same thing to him. Verse 51. He said, I'm the living bread which came down from heaven. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever. And the bread that I will give is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. The Jews therefore strove amongst themselves, saying, how can this man give us his flesh to eat? Then Yahshua said unto them, truly, truly, I say unto you, except you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. Come on back to Numbers 11. This going right back to being born again and stop being a child. See, there's to come a time process in this word where you're going to have some growth and some elevation. Now, we're going to look at something in Hebrews chapter 5, and it's going to refer to teachers. And we're not talking about y'all teaching nobody, but you need to sit back and look at something. Some of y'all still on breast milk, and you've been dealing with this word for a good little minute, and you still sucking on the titty. And you think it's on the level of knowledge or information, but it's on something else while you still on the titty. Come on back to Numbers chapter 11 verse 5. Listen to what these niggas said. We remember the fish which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There's nothing at all besides this manna before our eyes. They sat back and that's how they looked at the Messiah. We don't want this nigga. That's how some of y'all look at it. Some of y'all look at it. Brother asked me about this here. Now y'all look at this scenario right here. They sitting back talking about what they had when they were around sinners. That's what they looked at. They looked at what they had when they were around sinners. Let's look at Psalms 37. I know it's probably some of y'all been sitting around there thinking about, wondering about, man, these sinners surely are coming up. Why I can't come up? I'm going to tell you something. The Lord keep a lot of stuff from y'all because y'all don't know what to do with it when you get it. You don't even have the mental wherewithal to deal with it. I'm going to tell you, man, sometimes some of y'all word problem is y'all think y'all ready for stuff that you're not ready for. But you believe that you are. And the Lord keeping this stuff back from you because he already know you're not. I'm gonna tell you right now, how many of y'all would be, if somebody put $100,000 in your lap right now, how many of y'all think you would be able to handle it well? Being honest and tell the truth. How you feel? Who said me? I don't even, nigga please. You heard her talking about she'll be able to handle it. Yeah, nigga. Nigga please. Now I know you, man. You sell that somebody else. You sell that somebody else. You sell that something. You know what I'm saying? It don't even just be with. It ain't even about just buying. That's what y'all sitting back looking at is, oh, I could buy this, I could buy that, I could buy this. Some of y'all will get that money and you'll be like, I want to invest, but you don't know what to invest in. You ain't sat down and thought about what to invest in. Some of y'all will jump out on the first business opportunity, jump in your face, and you'll blow that money. But look here, man, you talking about that? Oh, what you mean? I'm talking about individually. Say about what you got me for. I know what I'm gonna do. I be about 5-6 moves ahead. I already know what I'm gonna do. Everybody can't handle that though. Huh? I'm gonna get about 5-6 pounds. But I'm talking about, see, me and Delta were talking about this the other day because he got a friend who he got in a particular industry and a market and it caved out and it kind of crippled him. Didn't break him, but it crippled him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. When I was in prison, I had a homeboy. He was from Central Florida. I used to sit around and I assess niggas, man. I used to tell him, man, I say, man, check this out. I say, everybody in here, every nigga in here think they're a CEO or a businessman or can lead something or can do something. But sometimes you got to know your role and know that just because you think you can do that, don't necessarily mean that you can. You know what I'm talking about? I say, look at this nigga right here. I say, what you think that nigga is? I say, you think that nigga a worker, middle management, or CEO type? I'm talking about executive type stuff. He was like, man, I don't know. I say, listen to the nigga conversation. Look how he operate. Look how he move. That nigga say, oh boy, that nigga, they're a worker. You know what I'm talking about? See, somebody who have been, you have to sit back. See, sometimes that's why a lot of people in Delta know this from playing sports. As a coach, you have to be able to objectively look at somebody's strengths and weaknesses and put them in the best situation where they can succeed. See, sometimes we get in our minds that we can do certain things, and you might not succeed in that avenue. Now, when it comes with the word, we're supposed to give you this word because if every man and woman take this word, hear it, and obey it, it will cause you to succeed. See, the Lord gonna put you in the best position for you to succeed. See, some of y'all can't handle the things you think you can handle. That's why He keep them back, because He know you won't love me if I give it to you. We'll look at Proverbs 30 to go along with that too. Psalm 37:1. It's going a little bit different direction than what I had in mind. But thank the Lord. Let Him do as He sees fit. He say, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. For they soon shall be cut down like grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in Yah and do good. So shalt thou dwell in the land, truly thou shalt be fed. Delight thyself also in Yah, and He shall give thee the desires of thine heart. See, you sit back and look at something. He told you you'll surely be fed. Man just told you what He feeds you with. That would be His flesh. And if you eat His flesh and drink His blood, you'd have eternal life in you. But see, you sitting back looking at, you want the earthly stuff. We just looked at last week, set your affections in heaven and not on the earth. By no means. Again, by no means are we telling you that you can't seek out earthly things to seek to be successful. Not telling you that. And we're going to sit back and we're going to look at that. And I'm also going to sit back for you women, because I know we just having this discussion with one sister who in that position where her husband has let her know, I don't want you to work and you don't have to. You know what I'm talking about? And truth be told, any of y'all that got small children ain't got no business working anyway, and you married. Now, if you're not married, that's a whole nother scenario. But we're going to sit back and look at something for you women. If you say you want to be married, 99.9% of the time you're going to get married. God going to open up your womb. He's going to give you children. You cannot go by what this world done told you that you can be a woman of God, a career woman, a mother, and a wife. You can't be all of that. You're going to have to lose something. You're going to have to look. I'm sitting there telling you now, if you think you can be a woman of God and be a housewife and a career woman at the same time, man, if you got any common sense, you know your house going to slack. How you going to be working 40 plus hours a week of grinding and doing all this here and you still got a house to take care of, a husband to feed, children to take care of? So you mean to tell me your husband's supposed to come in and vacuum the floor and wash the dishes and wash the clothes? I'm talking about, it don't matter if he working or not working. You know 9 times out of 10 he ain't, so he is. So you mean your husband supposed to do that because you got dreams and stuff you want to do? But yet you want to be saved though. So y'all don't look at that type of stuff. You can't, when you come in this way, what did this man tell you about this way? It's perfect, it's straight, and it's narrow. And he said you're going to have to take up your cross and follow him. That means it's stuff you're going to have to give up. And if you don't want to give up that control of doing this and doing that over your life, don't get married then. But at the same time, if you know your vagina go to itching, you better get your mind right then. I'm just telling you, some of y'all know y'all vagina be going to itching, and you want somebody to scratch it, but yet you don't want to do the stuff you got to do. Some of y'all not even ready to be married. I'm talking about you not, and the worst part is you're not even preparing yourself to be married, because the only thing you think about getting married is going in the room and doing the horizontal marble. That's the only thing a lot of y'all even think about. That's a lot of y'all. That's the only reason why you want to get married, so you can have sex. I'm for real. And so y'all ain't gonna tell the truth. You can try to sell that stuff to everybody else. I want a companion. I want this. You want somebody to bend you over and get freaky with you. That's what you want. Then you gonna mess around and get married, and you're gonna be miserable because you've been married the wrong person. I'm telling you. Psalm 37 again though. Now when he told you he'll give you the desires of your heart. Your heart should be desiring salvation. See, I'm going to show you something about the desires of the heart. Romans chapter 9, verse 1. See, this was Paul's heart desire war for his people. This should be your heart's desire. We still hold in Numbers 11, Psalm 37, Romans chapter 6, 1 Peter chapter 2. Romans 9 and 1. He said, I say the truth in the Messiah, I lie not, my conscience also bearing me witness in the Ruach HaKodesh, that I have great heaviness and continual sorrow in my heart. For I could wish that myself were cursed from the Messiah for my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelite, to whom pertain the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law, and the service of God and the promises.
Leah, what are you doing?
Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, came the Messiah, who is over all. And God bless forever. Amen. So your heart's desire to be saved. Paul said, my heart desire that I could be separated from God for y'all's sake. See, a lot of y'all don't even want to be separated from the things of this world or your own flesh to get your desire. See, a lot of y'all read that, he'll give you the desires of your heart. Your desire of your heart should be to dwell with him, now shouldn't it?
Yeah. Leah.
But a lot of y'all desire is, I want a big old house. I want a big old car. We just read the other day, you ask not and you get not, because you ask amiss to consume it on your lust, and you wonder why the Lord don't give you what you want.
Stop running.
Because you don't know what to do with it.
Come here.
I'm telling you. If some of you niggas hit the lottery today, you'll be broke in 6 months. I'm telling you, if you bad with money now, what makes you think if you got some more money, you'll be good with it? That's people's number one thought process in America, Anna. If I just get some more money, then I'll be able to do this here. You're going to do twice as worse than more than what you had with love. That's why he don't give to you. That's why he told you, if you haven't been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? A lot of y'all wonder why you can't get the spirit. You ain't even been faithful in carnal things. How he going to give you something spiritual? The Lord told you that in Luke, man. Let's go look at it, since I said it. We still hold it. Let's go look at it so y'all just think I ain't making that up. Let's go look at it. Y'all need to realize that. I'm going to tell you something else. If your natural things are not in order, your spiritual things ain't going to be in order. I'm going to tell you like this here. Let's just say, for instance, a woman. Let's just say her house is in utter disarray. I know her house is in utter disarray. And when I say her house being in utter disarray, I'm talking about her spirit. Her tabernacle. Her fleshly house. There's no way in the world your house gonna be in disarray and your house not gonna be in disarray. That's crazy in itself, wouldn't you say? What y'all think? It's just the same way if a man can't control himself, can't control his mouth, can't control his penis, can't control his action. You think and sit back that he gonna have his stuff in order spiritually? You really believe that? You really gonna fool yourself and tell yourself that? Let me see what it is here where I want to look. I always forget where it's written at. Let me find what I want. Give me a second. Like I said, man, I can remember what it said, but sometimes I forget what it said. How many of y'all ever sat and thought about that since you ain't been faithful in natural things? Luke chapter 11. Is that what I wanted? Yeah, that's what I want. No, that's not what I want. How many of y'all sat back and thought if you ain't been faithful in natural things,
No.
that the Lord gonna bless you with spiritual things? How many of y'all ever thought about that? Anybody? You have to sit back and look at that. You have to be faithful. Don't you got to be faithful? Ain't this, you sat back and look at it, man. The Lord was faithful with natural things,
Leah.
with things of the earth. That's why he was blessed with spiritual things. How you going to get back and get blessed with spiritual things and you not faithful in natural things? You can't even do the simplest task. Some of y'all can't get Luke chapter 16. Some of y'all can't get what you're looking for because you don't listen. Luke 16 and about verse 8. Some of y'all don't listen. You're hard-headed, you're stubborn. Some of your attitude bad. Some of y'all think you know more than me. Some of y'all think and that means you think you know more than God. Some of y'all don't like authority. Some of y'all don't like to listen. A lot of y'all not ashamed of your behavior. There's a lot of stuff keep you forgetting what you're looking for. You say verse 8 of Luke chapter 16. Say the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely. For the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. I say unto you, make to yourself friends of the mammon of unrighteousness, that when you fail, they may receive you into everlasting habitations. He that is faithful in that which is least is faithful also in much. He that is unjust in the least is unjust also in much. If therefore you have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, who will commit to your trust the true riches? And if you have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own? No servant can serve two masters, for he either will hate the one and love the other, or else you will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. You heard that man told you, if you ain't been faithful in somebody else's stuff, how many give you something belong to you? So y'all ain't, oh, she finna fall. Some of y'all ain't looked at that. If you faithful with a little bit, then you know we know you can be faithful with a lot. But if you's a nasty, no good, retarded, dumb nigga with a little bit, you're gonna be the same with a lot. This man say, seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened. Ask and it shall be given. You saying desire your heart in this man's spirit, but you envy sinners. You want to be with them. You worry about what they have to say about you. You worry about them cutting you off. You worry about how they feel about you. You worry about this. You worry about that. Some of y'all ain't faithful over a little bit. How are you going to be able to work that out? Come on back to Psalm 37. You got to sit back and look at that stuff. You got to weigh that stuff out. How many of y'all sit back and realize you've been unjust over a little? Who going to be grown enough to admit, yeah, I've been unjust with a little? See, that's why Lord willing, I can't wait till we get everybody in one place where I can look you niggas in the face. Cause I know some of y'all looking real crazy right now. So I wouldn't even have to ask them questions. I could just look out and look in your face and know. I'm for real. See, Ray honest. Let me appreciate that. I'm for real. I look you right in your face. Cause I know some of y'all sitting around there with the Google eye looking dumb. Instead of sitting around there looking dumb, you need to sit back and look at your behavior and you say, you know what? Thank the Lord, he showed me that there. I was going the wrong way. Now it's time for me to go ahead and hit the steering wheel and hit the U-turn and go the way I need to go. What do you say, Lou? You know what I'm saying? I sit back and look at, man, y'all gotta sit back and look at, man, this man done did all this stuff with me. Like my little sister say, what you told her, say, little mother, I was there. Say when he was shooting jump shots in the gym, say, I was there. She ain't see everything, but she seen few things. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? This man had to tear my behind up too, y'all, before I even got to this point. It's got to happen. You know what I'm saying? I had to get to the point, boy, you can't keep trying to slide this in here or do this in here. But one thing about it, though, I thank the Lord, I ain't even realize I was faithful over a little bit. Yeah. So, you know, you'll be faithful over a lot. Some of y'all just low down, dirty niggas. And you want everybody to think you ain't. See that? See, Chelsea honest. You got to start being real with yourself. There's no way in the world. You sit, man, see, it's the little stuff y'all sit back and y'all look at this man. Look at Matthew chapter 23. I just want you to look at how he put this here. If you're gonna serve y'all, you got to serve him wholly, whole heart, whole mind, whole soul. We just looked at it. Are you eating soup there? Right up the pot? That's your baby. That's your baby. And she got the thing on, the beard on. Yeah, she got my blood in her somewhere. That baby crazy. Matthew 23 and 23. Both of them, yeah. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay the tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought you have to done, and not to leave the other undone. See, that's how some of y'all look at it. You feel like I'm doing the weightier stuff, but you disregard the smaller stuff. Then some of y'all do the small stuff, but then you disregard the weightier stuff, when you ought to be doing all of it. That's what he would tell you. Okay, you paying the tithe, the lesser things of the law. Meaning, he's saying lesser don't mean that they don't matter. But he was saying judgment, having righteous judgment, showing mercy, believing in God. These are weightier matter. These are heavier. He said you should have did that. But all you niggas look at, I pay tithes. I keep the Sabbath. I don't eat no pork chop. I don't eat no shrimp. That's what y'all look at and you think you straight. That's what he was telling them. You know what I'm saying? They desire their heart what? To be saved. You know what I'm talking about? The desire of your heart should be this man's spirit being born again. That we just read with Saul, the spirit came on him. He became another man. A lot of y'all ain't became another person. You just the same nigga with a band-aid on. Song back to Psalm 37. I ain't telling this stuff to be me. It's to save your soul. It might help somebody out. If you want to be perfect, you got to take these lumps upside your head. But you know what some of you niggas do? You sit here and you hear this word week after week, and as soon as it's over with, you get your black behind up and you go right back about the same retarded business you always be about. What in God's name is that? You go right back to the same stuff you've been doing. The man sitting here telling, well, I'm telling you, don't let it be you. God forbid it's any of y'all listening, but the Lord gonna see fit. If he see fit, he gonna add more people. Lord see fit, we all gonna be sitting together in one location every week, and some of y'all gonna be sitting there to hear the word and go to hell. I done warned y'all about that before. It don't make sense to go to hell sitting in the house. Don't make sense to do that. It don't make sense to do that. That's borderline. You see the house on fire and you just gonna sit there and be like, if the wind blow hard enough, the fire go out. I'm not gonna get up there. I'm telling you now. Verse 5. This also what we're looking at in Psalm 37 and verses 4 and 5. This also go along with what John wrote us in his epistle in the 3rd chapter in the first epistle of John. If we do the things that please y'all, he give us the desires of our heart. If we keep the commandments and do those things that please. Y'all wonder why God don't give you nothing? Because you don't do nothing. And if he do give you something, it's really to take you to hell, because he know your heart is for you to stumble. The man told you in Isaiah chapter 8, this man is for a sanctuary and a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense. Y'all don't sit back and look at some of the stuff you be asking for, and you know you're not doing right, and you get it. Man, that man giving you that so you can go to hell.
Hey, stop.
Listen, it's gone. Yeah, fix your face. I'm working right now. I don't mind turning you about 3 shades darker though. If you see the look on her face, you contemplate, what should I do? I think it's best for you to go back over there with your mama. Skedaddle, dip, go, vamoose. You cute, but you ain't that cute. I'm sure you know what's going on. I don't plan to mess with that junk. Now look at verse 4 though. Delight thyself also in Yah, he shall give thee the desires of thy heart. Commit thy way unto Yah, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. He shall bring forth thy righteousness as the light, and thy judgment as the noonday. What y'all think he mean when he say he'll bring your righteousness as light and judgment as the noonday? And I'm going to ask y'all this. It's 8 o'clock, so what hour of the day is it? There you go. It's the second hour of the first watch. Second hour of the first watch. Did you know that? Remember, the watches is broken up in 3 segments, so they're like 4-hour watches. You know what I'm saying? Like what? 7 or midnight, like 3 in the morning. So it's what in God's name is that? What is that? You got a fire alarm or something? You got your Superman cape on. Everybody done went crazy. Let's look at here and say how he bring your judgment as righteousness is light. Let me Zechariah chapter 14, verse 6. Everybody done went crazy. The baby went crazy. She got a cape on. She thinks she's super baby in there. I'm glad Lizzie sat back and considered that and weighed that out and decided not to do that. I think she seen I wasn't playing. And it shall come to pass in that day that the light shall not be clear nor dark, but it shall be one day which shall be known to y'all, not day nor night, but it shall come to pass that evening time it shall be light. What y'all think that mean that evening time is going to be light? Because he just told you he'll bring, he just told you he'll bring his judgment, that his righteousness will be as light and his judgment as the noonday. So what y'all think this could be referring to? Yeah, of course. Of course. Let's look and see how. Let's look at John chapter 9. See if John 9 what I want. That's not John 9. Yeah, it is. John 9 is what I want. Verse 1. And Yahshua passed. Hold on. Yahshua passed by. He saw a man that was blind from his birth, and the disciple asked him, saying, "Master, who did sin, this man or his parents?" Somebody got to put their phone on mute, man. What is that? And as Yahshua passed by, he saw a man who was blind from his birth, and the disciple asked him, saying, "Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind?" Yahshua answered, "Neither have this man sinned nor his parents, but the works of God should be made manifest in him. I must work the works of him that sent me while it is day. The night comes when no man can work. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world." Now he just told him, now here's something else. Why would this man tell them that the night coming where no man can work? Why would he tell them that? Why would he tell them that? Let's look and see why. There you go. Genesis chapter 2 verse 1. There you go. See, a lot of y'all still working. That's what your problem is. Still working. Ain't ceased from your labors. What else we still hold? We still holding what? Numbers 11 and Romans 6, 1 Peter chapter 2. We ain't even going to get the direction I want to go in, but thank the Lord either way. Ezekiel 18. Calm down, Lizzie. Oh, she done got caught on the foot. She can't travel. Well, Lizzie get frustrated fast, don't it? 2 and 1. Lizzie get frustrated fast. Now you finna run around here naked. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished. What did Yahshua say on the tree? He said it's finished. And on the 7th day, God ended his work, because the night come when no man can work, which he had made, and he rested the 7th day from all the work which he had made. So if the 7th day, he done ended his work. Did he end his work when the sun was out or when the sun was down? Because see, you got niggas say the day start when the sun come up. What type of sense it make for this man to stop working with the sun up? That make any sense to any of y'all? Everybody doing this modern society because people get off in the daytime. Who gonna say, well, the sun up, I guess I ain't going to work today? And God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because in that in it he rested from all the work which God created and made. I want you to look at Hebrews chapter 4, verse 8. We'll come back to this John chapter 9. This man says, while he in the earth world, he the light of the world. He say the night coming where no man can't work. We know in Luke chapter 22, when they came and got him, he say it's the power of darkness. I thank the Lord for the word. I keep glancing to my watch. I gotta go get it fixed. Man, we gonna talk again. I know I'm used to having him on. Cause I'm steady flipping my wrist. He ain't nowhere in sight. Hebrews 4 and 8. Now this talking about Joshua son of Nun here. Say, for if Jesus had given them rest, then would he have not afterwards spoken of another day? Therefore, there remained therefore rest to the people of God. For he that is entered into his rest, he also has ceased from his own works as God did from his. Now we sitting back looking at this man say, unless you be born again, you can't enter into the kingdom of God. The only way you can enter in is if you die. That's the only way you're going to be able to be born again. You got to die. That means you would have to rest from your work. We sitting back looking at, Yahshua said on the tree, it's finished. He rested from his work. His father in Genesis chapter 2 say, it's finished. I'm finished from what I'm doing. A lot of y'all walk around here talking about you saying it's finished, but you ain't did nothing but finished being a hypocrite. That's all you done. You know what I'm talking about? Because your works ain't finished because you still doing what you want to do. You still not ashamed of what you have done, and if you're not ashamed of what you have done, that means you will still do it. I put it this way. If you was a man and you was a whoremonger, and somebody was talking about man sleeping with a whole bunch of women, and you know you did that and you wasn't ashamed of it, you'll still do it. If you was a woman and you were a whore and you weren't ashamed of being a whore, that's because you still do it. If you was a man, if you like to lick booty and eat vagina, or you a woman, you like to lick on penis and blow in booty, or let a man hit you in your booty, or a man, you want to hit a woman in your booty and people go to talk about it and you rejoice in that, because you'll still do it. If you rejoice in talking about some lies or some schemes or conniving you did, it means you'll still do it. All it takes is favorable opportunity. All it takes is the right situation and circumstance, and you going to move like Carl Lewis out them starting blocks. You ready. You ready. See, I'm talking about a lot of y'all, the only reason why you don't see him because you worry about somebody else seeing you and them telling me. That's what I'm talking about. That's what y'all be worried about. You ain't worried about God seeing you. He know what's in your heart, and you worry about somebody seeing what you're doing. You need to get that stuff out of your heart. That man say all evil thoughts is unrighteousness. You said like this. So if you got these thoughts in your mind, then you know you need to bring every thought that exalts itself against the Messiah into captivity. You know what I'm talking about? With me, really, you need to replace this stuff out with the word. It had to come a certain period of time. Stuff shouldn't be still lodging in your brain. Okay then. Let's go back over here. And let's look at Matthew 27. This man said, eating time it shall be light. He said he'll bring your righteousness as light and your judgment at the noonday. Matthew 27 and about 44. "45 is better. Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour." So there's judgment right there. Anybody know from the law what has to happen at even time? I narrowed it down to Exodus chapter 12. Because he said he'd bring your judgment at noonday. We see at noonday he made it go dark. Let's look at Exodus chapter 12, because don't nobody know. Exodus chapter 12. Exodus chapter 12 and verse 5. "Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and ye shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the 2 side posts and on the upper door posts of the houses wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night," just like they did with Yahshua. They ate his flesh in that night, roast with fire, and he was roasted with the furnace of affliction and unleavened bread, because he ain't had no sin. "And with bitter herbs shall they eat it." Because you know, you like to see, he was exceedingly sorrowful on the death of that bitter herbs. I'll deal with that another day. Eat not of it raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire. That's that furnace of affliction again. His head with his legs and with his pertness thereof. So they ain't cut him up his whole body. Because what he said, did he say, eat, this is my body, right? Didn't cut his body up, his head wasn't severed, his legs wasn't cut off. And yet you shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, and that which remain of it until the morning you shall burn with fire. And thus shall you eat it, with your loins girded, and your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand. You shall eat it in haste. It is Yah's Passover. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite the firstborn, all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast. And against all the gods of Egypt will I execute judgment. I am Yah. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. What did we just look at last week about blood being a token upon some houses? What did we just look at that at? Down. Then we just look at that when we seen that concubine in Judges 19 fall down and put the blood on the doorpost of the house. Now you got to sit back and look at, you need this man's blood on the doorpost of your soul. He's saying the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you. And the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 8. He said when he see this blood, it will be a token that this man don't destroy you. And then we'll go back and finish Romans chapter 6. A lot of y'all, this man not going to pass over you. This man ain't going to pass over you. And you know he ain't going to pass over. Make it 6. 5 is better. 5 and 5. Ye are children of the light and are children of the day. We are not of the night, nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober. For they that sleep in the night, and they that be drunken are drunken in the night. But let us who are of the day be sober, putting on the breastplate of faith and love, and for a helmet, the hope of salvation. For God hath not appointed us to wrath, but obtained salvation by our Lord Yahshua the Messiah. And that's funny, he told them people telling us that Paul telling us to put this stuff on to gird ourselves up with, and he just told them to gird themselves up, didn't he? So they could be ready to go so they wouldn't catch that wrath. And he come back around and tell us, because those people who did that with that Passover, they weren't appointed to wrath now, were they? The Egyptians were appointed to wrath. Those who had that blood of the Passover lamb, they weren't appointed to wrath. So now we sitting back looking at it, we see that this lamb that's the righteousness, that's the judgment. The judgment is to deliver the people. I'll bring this to pass at the noonday. It was at midnight when he struck them people, wasn't it? Darkness. Middle of the night, the people got them hollering. Judgment hit. Instead of noonday, midnight. Same thing. Middle of the night. Middle of the day. I'm going to strike. I'm going to execute judgment. Now we sitting back looking at this man done executed judgment on our behalf to deliver us from wrath, but yet we still showing ourselves that we are the children of wrath by our works. That's not a good thing. Romans chapter 6, that's not a good thing. You got to start reassessing it. We just were telling y'all this last week now. You say this what you want. You got to show it. Come tell you now. If your natural things is not in order, you are not going to convince me in any shape, form, or fashion that you are in order spiritually. And if you attempted to, I will probably tell you, get out of my face. Don't even insult me like that. How many of y'all believe you can have yourself in order spiritually but out of order naturally? How many of y'all actually believe that? That's impossible. They say, how your heart going to be clean? You don't keep your body clean. I'm for real. Say, how your heart going to be clean? You live nasty. So a nigga know you're going to be nasty to people. You can sell that to somebody else. You ain't going to sell it to me. Verse 20 though. Of Romans chapter 6. You're not going to sell that to me. You're going to sell that to somebody else. Man, I'm telling you, man. Being locked up, boy, I done heard more stories and lies than you could ever imagine. Because that's all niggas in jail got time to do, just sit around and tell lies. And you ain't finna sit around lying to me. Think I'm stupid. I ain't just fall off of no turnip crop. But when you were the servants of sin, you were free from righteousness. What fruit had ye in those things whereof you are now ashamed? For the ends of those things is death. Now you sitting back looking at it, you ain't had no fruit to eternal life and none of that stuff you were doing, and you still not ashamed of it. And then you know you were going to go to hell for it, and you still proud you did it. But now being made free from sin and become servants to God, you have your fruit under Kodesh and the end everlasting life. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Yahshua HaMashiach our Lord. You gotta sit back and look at that. The soul that sin, it shall die. This man told you in Revelation chapter 20, if your name ain't found in the book of life, you getting cast in the lake. The only way your name ain't in the book of life is because of sin. That's what the law say. The soul that sin, it shall die. How many times we look in the wilderness, who died? Hebrew chapter 3. Hebrew chapter 3. Hebrew chapter 3. Hebrews 3 and 13. Make it 12. I need to start looking at this stuff. We'll get back over there to Romans chapter. Numbers chapter 11. We good in Psalms 37. We still hold in Matthew 27. We good in John chapter 9. We still need to look at 1 Peter chapter 2. And the Lord permit, we'll swing it back around to Ezekiel chapter 18. Take heed, brethren, lest there be in any of you an evil heart, unbelief, and departing from the living God. But exhort one another daily while it is called today, lest any of you be hard through the deceitfulness of sin. For we are made partakers of the Messiah if we hold the beginning of our confidence steadfast unto the end. While it is today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts as in the provocation. For some, when they had heard, did provoke. Howbeit, not all that came out of Egypt by Moses. You heard what he said. That's how some of y'all do. All y'all don't provoke God and commit sin. All y'all don't do that. Ain't that what he just said? Say everybody didn't do that. He said, but with whom was he grieved 40 years? Was it not with them that had sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness? And to whom sware he that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believe not? So we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief. That's why a lot of y'all not going to make it, because you, in actuality, you really don't believe. And it shows in your behavior. Your behavior shows if you believe or not. You can say anything out your mouth, but your behavior is reflecting that. If you believe, then there should be a process of maturation. You know what I'm talking about? Where you should no longer be on a breast. That I could be able to present to you a steak and you should be able to handle it. You know what I'm talking about? Or present to you a piece of chicken breast. Something that takes some stuff to chew. Like we can't give Lizzie no meat right now. She can't chew that. She gonna choke. When Lee was about that age, she was gonna try it. She'd just spit it out and just, I'll just chew the part I can and keep on going. I think Jordan tried to chew it. I know Joshua gonna try it. I think Kingston got enough teeth in his mouth. That boy just skipped 2 years. He just went straight from 1 to 5. He just skipped about 3-4 years. You know what I'm talking about? Teeth spotted in his mouth earlier, because the boy don't look like he too. That boy look like he about 4-5 years old though. He just skipped a couple of years. We don't even count him. He ain't no baby. That's a grown man in the sky. I think he admits it. He might be like what that movie is Marlon Wayans was in. That might be a grown man. Around here talking about he fooling up, acting like he can't talk. But when we turn it back, that nigga have full conversation. Well, you just sit back and look at it though. You have to sit back and look at that though. There has a period of time where you should be able to discern from things, but we're going to see. Let's go back to Numbers 11 finish that out. I'm going to sit there and show you because it's going back to what I was talking about with what them kids do. So y'all know you finna get in trouble. You want to cry it in. That's how some of y'all do. Lord be beating you across the head. You want to cry it in. You want to pray to the Lord and do all this, that, there, and do all this here. That man like, nigga, I don't want that. I see one of these days we're going to have to deal with. It was in my mind. I was talking to the brother about this yesterday. One of these days we're going to look at, we're going to show y'all what giants really are. A lot of niggas talk about that. Don't y'all be walking around here thinking some angels came down here and had sex with no women. Y'all supposed to have enough sense to know an angel ain't got no desire to lay with no woman. Numbers chapter 11 verse 6. Niggas got to be utterly retarded about that. I seen these niggas been arguing about a woman beating on a man, and women beating on men, and men beating on women. These niggas been going crazy. I'm gonna tell you like this here now. Ain't now one of y'all got no business putting your hands on each other. If you got to put your hands on somebody, you don't need to be with them. You don't need to be with them. I'm talking about, Mel, if a woman putting her hands on you, you don't need to be with her. You don't need to be with her. I done told y'all before, that's not love, man. Disrespect, that's not love. You know, putting your hands on people, that's not love. That ain't love. That ain't good, man. That's not good. And I'm telling you right now, you can't love somebody you don't respect. And I'm telling you now, I ain't never met nobody that got somebody respect back after that person lost it. I've never met anybody. I don't think it's possible, to be honest with you. I don't think you can get somebody respect back after you done lost it. That's just my personal opinion on the matter. I don't think you can get that back. I know some niggas, boy, I lost respect for them. I don't think there's nothing they could ever do for me to get, for them to ever get my respect back. Cause that's always gonna be in my mind. The only way somebody be able to do that, they'd have to be born again. Nigga, boy, I lose respect for you, man. That's pretty much a wrap, man. I pretty much don't want nothing to do with you. I'm for real. I could never be with a woman I didn't respect. I don't see how a woman could be with a man she don't respect. That's where that stuff come in at, with people putting their hands on each other too. That come in at, that's a lack of respect. Because you wouldn't put your hands on somebody you respect. You wouldn't do that. Your respect level for them wouldn't allow you to do that, because you say, you know what, I couldn't disrespect this person in this fashion. I know sometimes people get mad and might fly off the handle from time to time, but if you really, really respected somebody, you ain't gonna do that, because 9 times out of 10, if you know you respect them, you know if you hit them, they were gonna hit you back. You knew that. You knew if boy, you already know, some of y'all know, boy, if I hit this woman, she gonna get a knife, a pistol, and she gonna square off. Numbers chapter 11, verse 6. But now our soul is dried away. There's nothing at all beside this manna before our eyes. And the manna was as a Koran the seed, the color thereof is the color of bdellium. And the people went about and gathered it and ground it in mills, or beat it in a mortar, and baked it in pans, and made cakes of it. And the taste of it was as the taste of fresh oil. And when the dew fell upon the camp in the night, the manna fell upon it. Then Moses heard the people weep throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent, and the anger of Yah was kindled greatly. And Moses also was displeased. See, he turned around and he said these people were hot. He was hot with these people. See, look what else he said. Have I conceived all this people? He said, Moses said unto Yah, wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servant? Wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight? And thou laid the burden of all this people upon me. Just like he did with Yahshua, laid the burden of all the people on him. Have I conceived all this people? And Yahshua birthed up. Now how is he going to be able to become a son of God to let you be born through him? Have I begotten them? That thou should say unto me, carry them in thy bosom, as an earthling father bear the sucking child unto the land which thou swear unto their fathers. Whence should I have flesh to give unto all this people? For they weep unto me, saying, give us flesh that we may eat. I may not be able to bear all this people alone, because it's too heavy for me. And then y'all sat back and he began to tell him I'll rain down quails. And he said I'll rain down enough quails on these niggas where to start coming out their nose. See, that's an example of what I was telling y'all about. See, they cried unto y'all for a particular thing, and they say gave us flesh to eat. I want y'all to hear what he said, how he said he would give it to them. I want you to drop down and look at verse 18, because this is what I meant on, you could cry to the Lord for something, and the Lord will give you what you want, and it'll be for your destruction. Listen what he did now. They cried for meat to eat, right? They cried for meat to eat, right? Nigga just quiet. And then say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and you shall eat flesh. For you have wept in the ears of Yah, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it is well with us in Egypt. Therefore Yah will give you flesh, and you shall eat. Say, it was well for you in sin. So you had a good time committing sin. He said, you shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days, but even a whole month, till it come out your nostrils. Stop. And it be loathsome unto you, because you have despised Yah which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came we forth out of Egypt? And Moses said, the people amongst whom I am are 600,000 footmen, and thou hast said, I will give them flesh, that they may eat a whole month. Shall the flocks and the herds be slain for them to suffice, or shall the fish of the sea be gathered together for them to suffice? And Yah said unto Moses, Is Yah hands waxed short? Thou shalt see now whether my word shall come to pass unto thee or not. But the people around there whining and crying. That man rained that stuff down on him, and after that he killed him. Now how y'all sit back and think, how that make y'all think, how y'all reason that in your heart? What somebody thought on that? That these people cried out to this man for something, he gave it to them, and they thought they were being blessed, but it ended up being for their destruction. Because they cried out for that meat. Huh? Yes, sir. They asked for it, he gave it to them, and he killed them for it too. A lot of y'all be troubling this man, asking this man for stuff, and he gonna give it to you too. And then he gonna kill you. And then he gonna kill you. And then he gonna kill you. You know what I'm talking about? Because you asked for it in unrighteousness. So you wasn't asking for it because you had a need for it. You were asking it for it because you were covetous, you were lusting. See, that's why he told you can't serve two masters, because you're going to cleave to one and hate the other. See, they were cleaving to their master. See, when we was in Egypt, we was in sin, see, we had cucumber leeks and melon. We ate to the full. We had this, we had that. But in the end, it ended up being their destruction, because they ended up hating God for it. Because you heard him just say they despised me. Oh, y'all wonder where he got that from and why he told you that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to sit back. Y'all have to look at that. See, a lot of y'all, the stuff y'all be crying for, you crying for the stuff you had while you was still in sin. That's what you were crying for. That's what you were crying for. And he going to give you just what you were looking for. He going to give you just what you were looking for. And when he been done told you he gonna kill you beforehand, y'all go to weeping and crying. So I mean, like we were just talking about this here. See, them little kids, they go to crying, they think that's gonna stop you from whooping them. See, a lot of y'all go to commit y'all sin, y'all go to doing the stuff y'all be doing, and you think if you go to crying and weeping and whining and go to praying, or you be like this here, I'm gonna fast, or I'm gonna pray, or please Lord, or you gonna go seek, man, the Lord don't want to hear that stuff. I'm still coming to see you, nigga. He said, by no means do I clear the guilty. I'm still coming to see you, nigga. That's just what them little kids do when they know they finna get their butt told up. They say, nothing, nigga. Nothing, nigga. I need some bump. Nigga say, boy, I'm finna turn your brown behind 3 shades darker. Maybe then you'll get the message. Lord have mercy. I want y'all to look at Hebrews chapter 5. What are we holding? We still need to look at 1 Peter chapter 2, and we still need to come back to Matthew chapter 27. Let's look at that first. So when we look at Matthew chapter 27, that there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour, and about the 9th hour Yahshua cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, that is to say, my God, thou hast forsaken me. This is when he died. So, do we literally see that at evening time it was light? Because he made it go black, but this man said while he was in the earth, he was the light of the world. So it was literally light and darkness at the same time, now wasn't it? Literally at the same time. So that means he brought your judgment at noonday and your righteousness as light at the same time. Just like David told you in Psalms, didn't it? But see, I'm going to show y'all something else while it's on my mind. Proverbs chapter 1. We might get over there to this other stuff. Verse 23. Make it 20. We might get down here. We might. I thought I was going to get this Ezekiel 18 in, but the Lord just said not today. Maybe one day. Because I ain't going to keep y'all too long. It's 8:30 right now. I might take about 30 more minutes of your time. Proverbs 1 and 20. I ain't keep y'all too long. He'll give you something to chew on. We got a lot of work to put in. What is here? We got Sabbath coming, so that's 2 times. Then we got that. Then we're gonna go 2 more times, 11th and the 12th, then the Sabbath again, and then the week after that, Lord spare our life 4 times in a row. You'll have plenty to chew on. Wisdom cry without. She utter her voice in the streets. She cry in the chief place of the concourse, in the opening of the gates. In the city, she utter her words, saying, "What are y'all sure crying out in the streets, crying in the chief place of the concourse?" You done heard him cry out. How long will you simple ones love simplicity? That's what I want to know. How long you stupid niggas gonna love stupidity? That's what your God just said to you. That ain't what I just said to you. Because it said wisdom. Paul told you y'all should have been made under other wisdom. Your God just told you. Your Savior just told you. You stupid people. How long will you love stupidity? He said, how long, you simple ones, will you love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Turn you at my reproof. I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called, and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear come. And when your fear come as a desolation, and your destruction come as a whirlwind, and when distress and anguish come upon you, then they shall call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. I want you to come on up. Just keep this in mind. I want y'all to look at something in Job. We went over it a while back in Job chapter 9. Now I'm going to sit back, I'm going to show y'all something. We're not getting Ezekiel 18. Might get to it on the Sabbath. Thank the Lord. It might work better on the Sabbath for what I had in mind for the Sabbath. We're not going to get to that. I promise I had in my head all week is what we were going to deal with Ezekiel 18. But thank the Lord. He chose to do something different. Gave her what was needed. Job 9 and 23. Because it's going to help somebody. It was for somebody. It helped somebody out. Job 9:23. Listen what this man say. If the scourge lays suddenly, he will laugh at the trial of the innocent. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So he just say if a scourge lays suddenly, he gonna laugh at the trial of the innocent. We come back to Proverbs chapter 1. This man say he stretched out his hand and nobody regarded it. He'll laugh at calamity, mock when fear comes. And when your distress and anguish come upon you, you'll call, but he don't answer. What y'all think that could mean? What y'all think that mean? I stretched out my hand, but nobody regarded. What y'all think that could mean? That's us. Sit back and look at it. We looked at that woman in Judges chapter 19. When she fell out, her arms were stretched out. No man regarded it. Why do you think he cut her body up in 12 pieces and sent it into all the people in Israel and say, speak on the matter? Nobody regarded it. Nobody cared. When this man was up there on the tree, his arms were stretched out. Wasn't it? Nobody regarded it, period. Did anybody regard it? He said, I stretched out my hands to you. No man regarded it. When he said, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani, my God, why have you forsaken me? They say maybe he called for Elijah. How many times do we read where y'all say, I stretched out my hand unto you and you rejected me? This man is stretched out on the tree. Arms are stretched out. He cried out on the tree. The people rejected. They didn't regard it. That's how some of y'all behavior is. Y'all still killing it. He stretched out on the tree. You hear him crying out. You don't listen. Oh, y'all hear me? Okay. I was going to say them white folks acting crazy again. What y'all think that mean about him laughing at his calamity? Mocking him when his fear comes. Look at Job chapter 10. I said I was going to deal with the bitter herbs another time. I guess I'll deal with it now. Job 10 and 1. It'll bring it to remembrance. And only people who've been with us over a year and a half know about this. You know, have been riding with it for a while. We went over this a long time ago. Job 10:1. Listen what he say. My soul is weary of my life. I will leave my complaint upon myself. I will speak in the bitterness of my soul. I will say unto God, do not condemn me. Show me wherefore thou contend with me. Is it good unto thee that thou should oppress, that thou should despise the work of thy hands, and should shine upon the counsel of the wicked? Hast thou eyes of flesh, or see as thou a man see? Are thy days as the days of man? Are thy years as man days? That thou inquire after my iniquity and search after my sin? Now this man said that when the scourge lay suddenly, he gonna laugh at the trial of the innocent. See, David told you in Psalm chapter 2, verse 1, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? They rise up against Yah's anointed to break his cords and to cast away his cord. He said, but he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh at them. Now this man say, I'm going to laugh when your calamity comes, and I'm going to mock you when your fear comes. I'm going to laugh at you. Now this man just say, my soul weary of my life, I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm going to speak in the bitterness of my soul. When Yahshua in Matthew chapter 26, what was he doing? In Matthew 26, after he came, he told Peter and James and John to come out to the side with him. What was he doing? He was praying. So what did he pray for? No, he wasn't praying for no strength. Let's look and see. Matthew 26 and 39. He wasn't praying for no strength. He wasn't praying for that. That man say he got to get ready. Yeah, he say take that cup. You got to remember, man, that man say you got to eat that Passover with bitterness. Bitter herbs. You just heard Job say, man, I'm going to speak this in the bitterness of my heart. Then come Yahshua unto a place called Jessamine, and saith unto his disciples, sit ye here while I go and pray yonder. And he took with him Peter, the two sons of Zebedee, and began to be sorrowful and very heavy, and saith unto them, my soul is exceedingly sorrowful, even unto death. Tarry ye here and watch with me. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, O my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. Nevertheless, not as I will, but thou will. If he asking this cup to pass, he's saying, what sin on me? What I did? Ain't that what he said? If you ask it, what sin on me? What did I do? Because we know that cup is for the wicked. You know that from Psalm 75 and 8. There's a cup that's for the wicked. What sin did I do? That's what he just looked at in Job, right? We say that thou inquire after my iniquity and search after my sin. He says, is it good unto thee thou should oppress and shine upon the counsel of the wicked? Didn't this man just sit back and tell you in Luke chapter 22, it was the time of the power of darkness? He was shining on the recommended advice of sinners. They recommended let's deceive these people and let's kill him. This man say his soul was weary of his life, and he kept it to himself, and he spoke in the bitterness of his soul. You sitting there looking at him do that, he praying. He didn't bring that to his disciples, did it? So that means that was a Passover being eaten with bitter herbs to him. Because he groaned in his spirit. Even when they were sitting there with Judas, he said, one of y'all gonna betray me. Don't you think you'll be pretty bitter? A man sitting right there and you know he's setting you up to be killed. Now look at Matthew 27:27, because he say when he's going to laugh at the trial of the innocent and mock you when your fear comes. You don't think you sit back and look at it, the Lord got to keep his word. So when that fear came on Yahshua, he was mocking him. And what did them people do? We'll see. Then the soldiers of the governor took Yahshua unto the common hall and gathered him. I'm sorry, verse 26 what we want. Then released he Barabbas unto them, and when he had scourged Yahshua, he delivered him to be crucified. That means he whooped them. We know that Pilate said, I don't find no evil in him. This is the trial of the innocent. And they whooped him. The just dying for the unjust, who did no wrong. And they beat him. And guess what? Y'all had to laugh at it. See, y'all laugh at some of y'all, but it ain't because you innocent. Laugh at you because you stupid. And if you ever do something stupid and bad stuff happen to you, and I go to laughing at you, you know why I'm laughing at you now. Don't be sitting there saying, that's wrong. God laughing at you. I'm just following suit what he did. When your calamity comes, I'm going to laugh at you. Because you knew better, but you wanted to be stupid. Then the soldiers of the governor took Yahshua into the common hall and gathered him to the whole band of soldiers. Now let's drop down about verse 38. Then were the two thieves crucified with him, one on the right hand, another on the left. And they that passed by reviled him, wagging their heads, and saying, Thou that destroyed the temple, build it in 3 days. Save thyself, if thou be the Son of God. Come down from the cross. Likewise also the chief priests mocking him, with the scribes and elders said, He saved others, himself he cannot save. If he be the king of Israel, let him now come down from the cross, and we will believe it. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if he will have him, for he said, I am the Son of God. So when his fear came, he mocked him. Who else could move these men to mock this man but God? They mocked him. When his calamity came, you don't think some of them people were laughing at this man? Man, y'all better sit back, think about what you're doing. Lord in heaven, sit back laughing at some of you niggas. Look at this retarded, dumb nigga right here. Proverbs chapter 1. Verse 27. I'm for real. If you know I sit back and laugh at you for being stupid, you know the Lord sitting back laughing at you because you're stupid. One and 27. So when your fear come as desolation and your destruction come as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early. He said, then they shall call upon me, and they shall not answer, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. What y'all think that can mean? Then Yahshua cried, Yahshua, and he didn't answer. And then they get up to seek him early at the grave, and they didn't find him. Verse 29. For they that hated knowledge, for that they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear Yah. They would none of my counsel and despised all my reproof. Therefore they shall eat the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearken unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil. If you sit and if you quiet, what's another thing you would get for being quiet? What's another word for that? Peace. So if you're going to sit back, if you're going to listen to if you're going to sit back and you're going to listen to the Yahshua, you'll have peace. But if you choose to do what you want, this man said, I will fill you with the fruit of your own devices. You'll get just what you're looking for. You'll get just what you're looking for. Come on around here to Hebrews chapter 5. We'll look at 1 Peter 2. I said that I would speak to these, show these women something real fast, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to let y'all go on y'all way. I thank the Lord for the word, though. Hebrews 5 and 12. For when the time you ought to be teachers, you have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of God. What's the first principles of the oracles of God? What's the first principle? The first principle is obey my voice. The first thing he told Adam to do was, don't eat of the tree, man. Do what I tell you. Obey. Love me. That's the first principle. And are becoming such as have need of milk and not of strong meat. Everyone that use milk is unskillful in the word of rightness, for he is a babe. Now he talking about people who teach him. See, I'm going to sit there and tell you something. If you still don't, it's a lot of dudes. All you got to look and see the stuff they talk about and the stuff that they preach about and mention. You can see this man say, if you still own milk, you unskillful. Hold this. Isaiah 28:8 or 9. Still unskillful. I'm going to sit here and let y'all know something. Because by no means am I telling you I'm the only skilled man in the world. But the man told you now, if the man is still on milk, he ain't got no skills. He don't know what he doing. He ain't good with it. 28:9. Isaiah. Whom shall he teach knowledge? Whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Matthew 13:52. This man say he gonna cause them to understand knowledge, them that are off the titty. There's a lot of people, man, they still on the titty. How would y'all feel you see a big 9, 10-year-old boy still sucking on his mama titty? I'm gonna think his mama a freak. Look at how little muffin looking. That's just not right, is it?
I see it.
Little muffin says she sees it. That's not right. Huh? 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. Ain't no 3-year-old got no business still on no titty.
Well, a newborn baby and then
Not a newborn baby and a 3-year-old on it. Man, when they go to walking, they trying to get off that titty. I don't care if you pump it for them. You know what I'm talking about? That little nigga need to be off some titty though. You want to pump him some breast milk, go ahead and pump him. That big old rusty boy, that nigga boo-boo on his own. That nigga ain't even got a diaper on. That nigga don't need to be sucking on no titty. All I'm gonna think about is your mama is a freak. Your mama's a freak. She trying to get off, got her son sucking on her titty. You nasty hoe. That's what I'm gonna sit back and look at. Man, I say about a year and a half is about the longest a baby should be on the titty. Them people smoking dope, man. If I sit back here, my wife sitting around here, Nicole, but now they're talking about she gonna have my son or daughter on her titty 3 years old. You and that baby get up out of here because you and that baby are freak.
talking about self-weaning.
Self-weaning?
You want the boy to, or the child to want to go away.
See, I'm going to tell you something. If it say the self-weaning is you going to want the child to get off the titty.
By himself.
By himself. He going to get off the titty by himself. I'm going to tell that nigga get off that titty. I'm going to tell him, this my titty. You better get off them titties. Oh, Chelsea says she seen a white lady breastfeeding her son at 6. What? That's despicable. That nigga in the 1st grade. I'm telling you, man, the people crazy now, man. We don't do no stuff, man. You get your neck, you get off my white titties. Them my titties. Them is mine. Your time for you to get on them things is over. You know what I'm saying? It's over. I paid for them. You know what I'm talking about? I got papers on them.
The baby shouldn't have to fight. Be like, who is this?
I'm telling you, I shouldn't be fighting for my titties. I got to fight my baby for my titties. It's a problem. Yeah. You know what they say? Go to say 8 months. They got to go. I'm telling you like this here. So I got to fight you, son, for my titties. Because I fight you now. I want some space over here, too. Shoot. Well, I got to get up every day to pay for these titties. What Big Pun say, get your own, these mine. I paid. Well, I like to say I had to go in the room, show the son, look at son, I got papers on these. These are mine. I got papers on you. You know what I'm talking about? In a minute, I'm finna sell you to somebody else. I'm finna do you like Toby. Your name Toby, because you finna get out of here, nigga. This stuff here ain't cool. Look at Matthew 13:52. Then said he unto them, therefore every scribe which is instructed unto the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which bring forth out of his treasure things new and old. Here a little, there a little. Precept on precept, line on line. Ain't it funny y'all talk to Israelites? They always come at Christian people with this. But when the Israelite come with it, they tell you all over the place, bro. But ain't that what the book say we supposed to do? You jumping all around. I done had too many niggas tell me that. But you quick to yell, see, precept got to be upon precept. So which one is it, nigga? 13:52. That's every scribe. Hold on. Let's go look at Ezra chapter 7. He say every scribe. So let's see what a scribe would be taught in then. See, we also looking at your behavior, but a man who teaches, he got to be off the tee. That man say every scribe, so we need to see what a scribe would do. And we'll look at Matthew chapter 7. Sit back and show you, ain't no woman can't be no scribe. You need to be around here talking about a woman can teach. How she gonna teach? When a woman became a scribe. Ezra 7:5. I'm telling you now. Y'all be around here, y'all women got them kids, man. Get them kids. Don't be having them kids on your titties that long. She said it was a 7-year-old girl. Say it was 7 and not a boy. It don't matter if he was a boy or a girl. They all nasty. Now your daughter gonna go out to be a lesbian. She come in here looking like Rosie O'Donnell. You shocked. You got old big blocky burly white girl talking about she want a woman. Talking about we gonna have a baby together. How? Y'all gonna bump vaginas and magically your egg gonna get fertilized? How this gonna happen? The son of Abishua, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the chief priest. This Ezra went up from Babylon, and he was a ready scribe in the law of Moses, which Yah, God of Israel, had given. And the king granted him all his requests, according to the hand of Yah his God upon him. And there went up of the children of Israel, and of the priests and the Levites, and the singers, and the porters, and the Nethinims unto Jerusalem in the 70th year of Xerxes the king. And he came to Jerusalem in the 5th month, which was in the 7th year of the king. For upon the first day of the 1st month began he to go up from Babylon, and on the first day of the 5th month came he up to Jerusalem, according to the good hand of his God upon him. For Ezra had prepared to seek the law of Yah and to do it, and to teach in Israel statutes and judgment. If it said that Ezra was a ready scribe, what would that make him, y'all? If he said, so if it said he ain't on no milk, what did we just read? It said if he was on milk, what would you be? So if he was unskillful, so if he was a ready scribe, then what would he be then? He would be skilled. He's skilled. So you just heard him say this. He was in the law of Moses, then wasn't he? So when we see Yahshua say every scribe which is instructing the kingdom of heaven, that means this is a teacher of the law. And we know if you believe Moses, you would believe me. Why? Because he wrote of me. You know what I'm saying? Come on over here and look at Matthew chapter 7, verse 26, 28. Golden said some people gonna be mad. Man, half them niggas ain't gonna look at this stuff no way. You know ain't nobody coming around here. Verse 28. And it came to pass when Yahshua had ended these things, the people were astonished at his doctrine. For he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. So who did the people get taught the word by then? The scribes. Because the scribes were Old Testament. The book bear witness to it, don't it? Scribes were Old Testament teachers. That means they were teachers of the law. That means they were priests. That means anybody who was a scribe had to be a priest then, now didn't it? So how a woman fit into that? Because you just heard them breaking that down with Ezra. Ezra came all the way from Aaron's seed. Come on back to Hebrews 5. So we look at verse 13. Yet again, Hebrews 5 and 13. He said, everyone that use milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe. But strong meat belongs to them that are of full age. Because when I was a child, I thought as a child. I spake as a child. But when I became a man, I put childish things away. I got off the tit. I became a man. Even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil. See, after you've been sitting back and you've been dealing with the word for a little bit, see, you've been used it, right? Say, can you hear what he said? By reason of use. See, a lot of y'all can't tell between what's right and wrong because you're not using the word. How would you be able, don't you think if you done something long enough and you used it, you could be able to tell what to read? Just like I use this example, only because, and me and Delta were talking about this the other day because that was his position. If anybody looked at the Super Bowl, you know it's a lot of prevailing thoughts of what happened. We really don't care. Ain't even really gonna go into all of that. When we look at Malcolm Butler, he was a cornerback. Is a cornerback, I should say. He's not dead. And he said by reason of use, because he got burned in practice repeatedly by that play, that when he saw it, he immediately knew what to do. By reason of use. It got ran on me so many times. I got it wrong so many times that after a while, I knew what to do. That's real. That's what the man said out of his mouth. He said, I got burnt in practice on the same pick play, pretty much shallow cross, over and over and over again. So by reason of use, when he actually seen this come up in the game, he knew what to do. He was able to discern what was going to happen. And see, in sports, they call it reading the play. Or if they get real fancy, they call it reading your keys. You know what I'm talking about? See, a lot of y'all don't use the word, so therefore you can't read your keys. You can't read the defense. You'll come up to the line as a quarterback, and you thinking this in cover 2 and they in cover 1, might have a robber in there, so the safety just playing slap right there in the middle, and you think you got this tight end up the seam, and this nigga gonna pick you off and take that thing the other way, because you weren't using your material. So you had no idea what was gonna come. You couldn't discern. You could look at there and say, oh, that safety dropped down 2 yards. They in cover 1 robber. I'm gonna go over here with the ball. I'm not gonna go right there. If I go right there, I'm gonna get this man killed, or I'm gonna throw an interception. Because the safety going to separate his chest from his throat. You know what I'm talking about? That's what's going to happen. If you ever watched a football game and you done seen a quarterback throw a pass, somebody come to the middle and this nigga just get buzzsawed, and you be like, why did you throw that pass? Because he saw something different. Sometimes y'all think, why did he throw that? Because he saw something different. See, the receiver saw one thing and the quarterback saw another. You know what I'm talking about? They weren't on the same page. See, a lot of y'all can't get on the same page with y'all because the playbook says do this, and if you do this, then what's going to happen? You've been reading the playbook, but see, you were like Johnny Manziel. You were going to get drunk. You know what I'm talking about? You were going over here to party and play, so when it came time for you to execute, you couldn't because you wouldn't know what to look for because you hadn't been using the information. See, after something of a repeated use of something, it should become natural, where you don't even have to think. I always, thank the Lord, Jerome, thank the Lord. I always hear coaches always say this here, especially with football players. You want to put the players out there where they're not thinking, where they're just reacting. Because when you think too much, you've been done made errors. You know what I'm talking about? See, with the word, it's been done merged with you and came into you. That there should come to a point where you shouldn't be thinking, you should already know what to do because it's implanted, it's written on your heart. Like he said, instead of being written on fleshly tables of the stone, on tables of stone, it's written on fleshly tables of the heart. It would direct your paths and guide your way. But see, when you're not studying your playbook and you're not using these things, it's going to be hard for you to discern what's going to happen. That's why you get in certain situations where the Lord is putting you to prove you out, to see if you love him or not, and you wonder why you consistently fail, because you didn't know what was going to happen before it happened. You know, people can throw in all that stuff about conspiracy theories with the game and all that good old stuff, but at the end of the day, number 21 seen what was going to happen and reacted. I knew what was going to happen before it happened. I seen it. I seen it. You know what I'm talking about? I seen it. I seen this formation. I knew what play they were going to run. If they ran that particular play, I knew exactly what to do. Now you sitting there coming in here, the word is supposed to direct you so you know exactly how to govern and conduct yourself. But y'all don't look at it that way because you want to do what you want to do. That's what type of thought process you got. But I want y'all to come on around here to Titus chapter 2. I want to show y'all this here. I didn't want y'all to, this is a continuation of something. I just want to put it in at the end. Because I think we done made this point clear. Hold on, let's look at 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5 first. So if you sit back looking at it, there has to be a change to go on in your heart, or it's just not gonna happen. How many of y'all really want to just keep drinking milk, or how many of y'all want to grow up and eat some meat? See, even King David told Solomon, "Show thyself a man." You know what I'm talking about? Be of good courage and show yourself a man and keep God's law, statutes, and commandments. Just like Paul. Let's look at that. 1 Kings chapter 2. Let's look at that. We'll get to 1 Peter chapter 2. Huh? No, Paul don't know what he's talking about. Paul makes stuff up. He just speaks his own opinion. 1 Kings 2:1. Now how you know them niggas on titty milk? I'm talking about that. I'm talking about that some of them got sour titties. That's bad. They say you got sour milk in your titties. Say how you got sour milk in your titties. You know what I'm saying? They come in here and be like, what? That'd be crazy if baby sit back and look like, Mom, what you been eating? Cause this stuff nasty. What you been eating? Hey, wouldn't that be funny though? You see the baby just pop up and look at Mom in the face and be like, yo, what you been eating? I didn't even know you could talk. I'm talking right now. Cause you eating something ain't right. This milk don't taste right. This milk did not taste like this yesterday. I don't know what you been eating. I don't know what you been drinking. You need to stop. He probably around here, Mom, taste that malt liquor now. Get off that Colt 45 now. Alright, man, that'd be funny, boy. You see the baby just go to get breastfed, and he just pop up. Go, what's wrong with him? He just looking at this. Man, this stuff ain't no good. What you got over there, yo? It happened. They say this stuff. Look up and say it happened. Say this milk ain't fresh. Say this stuff past date. So you can make cottage cheese with this. Huh? Yeah, I know that. I know if you drink it to get in there, because it's gonna get in your blood. And I know if you eat if your diet bad or you eating bad stuff, it's gonna get in there. It's gonna make that milk nasty. Y'all just don't mind me, because I just well I already knew that, but it got reinforced today on Sunday. I was studying in my personal training, but I already knew that. That stuff get in that blood, it's over with. That baby gonna taste that. That baby gonna taste that. That baby gonna be like this here. Mama, you play too many games. Yeah, say I pass. Say, go and get me that Symbolite. I'll take that. Give me that Symbolite. 1 Kings 2:1. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong therefore, and show thyself a man. And keep the charge of Yahweh thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments and his judgments and his testimony, as is written in the law of Moses, that thou may prosper in all that thou do, and wheresoever thou turn thyself. That's what every last one of y'all, come on over here to 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. That's what every last one of y'all men, y'all need to start standing up, show yourself a man. Stop being an old weak-willed nigga. Have some ball about yourself. Stand up and be a man. How you gonna lead the nation and you around here, you weak-willed, you ain't no man? I hate to sit back see a man let a woman disrespect it. If it were possible, a woman disrespect me, I hit her straight with. I'm talking about I hit her with them old school punches like my homeboy said used to do. That nigga said I hit you with the hook and then I bring the elbow through. So after I hit you in the mouth, I catch you with the elbow, knock you clean out. Y'all ain't got no business around here, man. Man, look here, man. You got to make people respect you. We were just talking about this last week. Black man got to go twice as hard to get his respect. 1 Peter 2:1. Listen what he say. This is what some of y'all ain't did. This is why you can't get right. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile, all that lying and slick stuff, conniving some of y'all be doing, and hypocrisy, all that pump faking you doing, and envious and evil speakings, as newborn babes, desire the sincere milk of the word, that you may grow thereby. So if you done came in as a baby in the word, you should be desiring the word so you can grow. So you mean to tell me you've been dealing with the word all the time, you still ain't grown? That's a problem. And the word problem is you thinking you grow and you haven't. You know what I'm talking about? That's the worst part is you might have had some stuff you done got. I'm telling you now, sometimes you really got to serve deep in your heart to sit back and see. A lot of y'all won't be real with me if I talk to you about it. You might not even be real with somebody else when you talk to about it. But when you lay on your bed at night, you know. You know. You know the stuff you just covered up. You know the stuff you just put a Band-Aid on. You know the stuff you just put to the side. You got to eliminate it. You got to die. In order to be born again and to become another man, you have to die. And when that spirit came on Saul, and it said he became another man, that means he was regenerated. He was born again. You know what I'm talking about? God gave him another heart, another mind. In order for you to get that other heart, that other mind, you gonna have to die. For Yahshua to get that new heart and that new spirit, which is eternal life, eternal being, which he already had from the jump street. You know what I'm talking about? But he had to come finish the work which was given to him. Just like the law say, I got to keep the Sabbath, I got to finish the work. In order for that to happen, he had to die first. See, that's what y'all don't want to do. And to go right back to that same thing, you're not faithful with a little bit. So you're not going to be faithful with nothing. And if your desire is to get the true riches, then you got to know how to be faithful with something that... See, because he said, how can you be faithful if you're not faithful with something that belongs to another man, right? See, let's look at 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and let's see what... Because you know Paul don't know what he's talking about. Because Yahshua said, if you wasn't faithful with that was another man's, how you going to be faithful with your own? Let's look what he said now. 1 Corinthians 6 and 19. Make it 16. Matter of fact, make it 15, just so you can hear what we're talking about. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of the Messiah? Shall I then take the members of the Messiah and make them the members of a harlot? God forbid. What? Know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body? For two saith he shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit. Flee fornication. Every sin that a man do is without the body, but he that commit fornication sin against his own body. What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Ruach HaKodesh which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own, for you are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your own body and in your own spirit, which are God. Oh, you didn't know? You don't belong to yourself? You ain't been faithful with another man. Because God owned your black behind if you didn't know. Good grief. John 5:39. I'm going to put that second part on this thing I'm finna talk to you women about. I'm going to put it separate from this because there's no way that it's going to fit in together. This, you know, those two things do not go together. John 5:39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of God in you. I come in my Father's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one of another, and seek not honor that come from God only? Do not think that I will accuse you to the Father. There is one that accuse you, even Moses, in whom you trust. For had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words? Hallelujah for Yahshua for the word. Y'all understood all this stuff this evening?